In Greek mythology, Prometheus is a figure celebrated for his intelligence, foresight, and deep sympathy for humanity. As a titan, Prometheus is part of an ancient race of deities that predate the Olympian gods. While many titans sided with Cronus in the great war against Zeus known as the Titanomachy, Prometheus chose a different path, allying with Zeus and the Olympians, ultimately securing his place in the pantheon of mythic heroes. However, Prometheus is best known not for his role in the Titanomachy, but for his daring act of rebellion against Zeus when he stole fire from the gods and gave it to mankind, forever changing the course of human history. Prometheus's defiance, born out of his love for humanity, comes at great personal cost, as Zeus punishes him with eternal torment. This myth is one of the most enduring in Greek mythology, touching on themes of rebellion, sacrifice, knowledge, and suffering, and has influenced art, literature, and philosophy for centuries. Prometheus, the Titan of forethought. Prometheus's name is derived from the Greek word prometheia, meaning forethought. Unlike his brother Epimetheus, whose name means afterthought, Prometheus is characterized by his ability to think ahead, to anticipate consequences, and to plan for the future. In Greek myth, Prometheus is often portrayed as a trickster figure, someone who is able to outwit both gods and men. His intelligence sets him apart from other titans and even Olympian gods, whose actions are often driven by impulse and emotion. According to myth, Prometheus and Epimetheus were given the task of creating life on Earth. While Epimetheus was responsible for creating animals, Prometheus was assigned the duty of shaping mankind from clay. Epimetheus, being impulsive and short-sighted, gave all the best qualities, strength, speed, claws, and fur, to the animals, leaving humans weak and defenseless. Seeing that his brother had left mankind vulnerable, Prometheus decided to give humans something that would set them apart from other creatures, the gift of fire and, with it, the knowledge of civilization. The deprivation of fire. At the beginning of humanity's existence, fire was something that belonged only to the gods. Mortals were forced to live in darkness, unable to cook their food, warm themselves, or craft tools. Fire, in this sense, symbolized not just physical warmth and light, but also the very foundation of civilization, knowledge, technology, and progress. Zeus, the king of the gods, feared that giving fire to humans would make them too powerful and independent. He wanted to keep mortals in a state of submission, dependent on the gods for survival. Therefore, he decreed that fire was to remain the exclusive property of the gods, denying it to humans. This decision was part of Zeus's broader effort to maintain a strict hierarchy between gods and mortals, preserving the gods' superiority over their earthly subjects. However, Prometheus had a deep affinity for humankind. He saw their potential and believed that they deserved the tools to thrive, to create, and to rise above their humble beginnings. In his view, fire was not just a tool for survival, but a symbol of human ingenuity and freedom. Unable to bear witnessing the suffering of mortals, Prometheus decided to act against Zeus's will and bring fire to humanity. The theft of fire. In one of the most famous acts of defiance in Greek mythology, Prometheus ascended Mount Olympus, the home of the gods, and stole fire from the hearth of the Olympians. According to some versions of the myth, he hid the fire in a hollow fennel stalk to conceal it as he descended from Olympus. Prometheus then delivered the stolen fire to humans, empowering them with the ability to cook, create metal tools, build shelters, and eventually form the foundation of advanced civilizations. The introduction of fire had an immediate and transformative impact on humanity. No longer were humans cold and vulnerable in the dark, they could now craft weapons, cook food, and protect themselves from wild animals. More importantly, fire symbolized the birth of technology, creativity, and progress, giving humans the tools to shape their own destiny. Prometheus's gift to mankind went beyond just the physical element of fire. He also imparted the knowledge of how to use it. This combination of fire and intellect is often interpreted as the birth of civilization, marking humanity's ascent from primitive existence to a life of creativity, art, and invention. In this way, Prometheus's actions not only empowered humans but also distinguished them from animals, allowing them to realize their full potential as rational beings. Zeus's wrath and punishment. Zeus was enraged when he discovered that Prometheus had defied him and given fire to humanity. His anger was twofold. First, he felt that Prometheus had undermined his authority by going against his decree, and second, he feared that with fire, humans would become too powerful, challenging the divine order. In his fury, Zeus devised a terrible punishment for Prometheus that would serve as a warning to any who dared to oppose the gods. Prometheus was chained to a rock in the Caucasus Mountains, where he was condemned to suffer an unending torment. Each day, a giant eagle, the symbol of Zeus, would descend upon Prometheus and devour his liver, which would then regenerate overnight, only for the eagle to return and feast again the next day. This eternal cycle of suffering was meant to illustrate the consequences of defying the will of Zeus and the gods. Prometheus's punishment is often seen as symbolic of the cost of rebellion and the burden of knowledge. In gifting fire to humanity, Prometheus had acted out of love and compassion, but he also knew that his actions would provoke the wrath of Zeus. His willingness to suffer for the sake of mankind reflects the theme of sacrifice that is central to the myth. In this sense, Prometheus becomes a tragic hero, one who is willing to endure unimaginable pain for the benefit of others. The creation of Pandora, Zeus's revenge on humanity. Zeus's vengeance did not stop with Prometheus's punishment. Furious at humanity's newfound power and independence, he sought a way to undermine the gift of fire and bring suffering to mortals. To achieve this, Zeus devised a plan to introduce evil and misfortune into the world. He ordered the gods to create a beautiful woman named Pandora, the first mortal woman. Each of the gods bestowed her with gifts. Aphrodite gave her beauty, Athena gave her wisdom, and Hermes gave her cunning and deceit. Pandora was presented with a sealed jar, often mistakenly called Pandora's box, that contained all the evils of the world: disease, war, famine, and death. Zeus then sent Pandora to Earth as a gift to Prometheus, Prometheus's brother. Despite Prometheus's warnings to be wary of gifts from Zeus, Prometheus accepted Pandora. Out of curiosity, Pandora eventually opened the jar, unleashing all the evils into the world. Only hope remained inside the jar, offering humanity some consolation in the face of the suffering and misfortune that had been released. Pandora's story serves as a counterbalance to the gift of fire, illustrating that even great knowledge and power come with a cost. By introducing evil into the world, Zeus ensured that humanity would never be entirely free from hardship, no matter how advanced they became. In this way, the myth of Prometheus and Pandora encapsulates the duality of human existence, the potential for greatness and innovation, tempered by the inevitability of suffering. The liberation of Prometheus. Despite his eternal punishment, Prometheus's story does not end in despair. After many years of suffering, Prometheus is eventually rescued by the hero Hercules, a son of Zeus who becomes one of the greatest heroes in Greek mythology. As part of his 12 labors, Heracles is tasked with freeing Prometheus. He climbs to the Caucasus Mountains, kills the eagle that torments Prometheus, and breaks his chains, finally ending his punishment. Prometheus's liberation symbolizes the triumph of heroism and justice over tyranny. Heracles' actions suggest that even the gods' most severe punishments are not beyond challenge and that redemption is possible, even for those who defy the divine order. Prometheus, though a rebel, is ultimately acknowledged for his wisdom and the vital role he played in shaping human civilization. The legacy of Prometheus. The myth of Prometheus has resonated throughout Western thought for millennia, becoming a powerful symbol of knowledge, defiance, and the human condition. In Greek culture, Prometheus represented the archetype of the trickster and the benefactor of mankind, one who is willing to challenge authority for the greater good. His gift of fire is not merely a physical element but a metaphor for the light of knowledge, the power of creativity, and the drive for human progress. In later centuries, particularly during the Enlightenment and Romantic eras, Prometheus was seen as a symbol of human striving and rebellion against oppression. Writers, philosophers, and artists embraced Prometheus as a figure of intellectual and spiritual freedom, someone who represents the quest for knowledge and the challenge to authority. The Romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, for example, wrote the dramatic poem Prometheus Unbound, celebrating the Titan's defiance and his suffering for the sake of humanity. Prometheus's story continues to inspire modern interpretations in literature, art, and film, highlighting the timeless relevance of his myth. Whether viewed as a cautionary tale about the limits of defiance or as a celebration of human ingenuity and resilience, the myth of Prometheus remains one of the most profound and enduring stories in Greek mythology. The myth of Prometheus is a complex tale of rebellion, sacrifice, and the human condition. By stealing fire from the gods and giving it to mankind, Prometheus not only provided the means for human survival but also introduced the spark of innovation and progress. His defiance of Zeus's will and his subsequent punishment reflect the cost of challenging authority, while his eventual liberation underscores the power of heroism and justice. Prometheus's gift of fire symbolizes the dawn of human civilization, the moment when mankind became capable of shaping its own destiny. Yet, the myth also reminds us that with great power comes great responsibility and that the pursuit of knowledge is often fraught with danger and suffering. As a symbol of both human potential and the struggle against oppression, Prometheus remains one of the most enduring and influential figures in the rich tapestry of Greek mythology.